Hey, great Thursday evening. It is a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville, Texas. I'm trying to get the color right. It is a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville, Texas, and despite trying to get the light, despite there being so many accidents in the city of Brownsville, it's a great evening. I still don't understand how that accident on Morrison actually happened. How you have a vehicle literally like on top of the other vehicle and that one on top of the another vehicle. It looks crazy. I mean, it's just thought I thought it was like not real, but was very real. And again, I appreciate everyone that sent in the pictures and the videos and stuff. I want to say that I thought it was a little bit on the weird side. That now Brownsville Police Department is doing videos at traffic accident places. I just thought it was weird. I'm not trying to be a hater, not trying to diss anyone's on parade. I just thought like, isn't that like part of an investigation or something? I don't know. Again, I'm not trying. Look, I it's kind of cool, but why does everyone want to do the Erasmo thing off? But more power to them. I think they're okay. I just think that they're a little bit on the weird side. You don't expect someone from the police department coming out and going like, "We're here at the scene. Just happened. Are you a police officer or are you a news reporter?" I'm not sure. So I thought that was kind of a look. That just my personal thing. I just thought it was kind of on the weird side. Again, think it was weird. I am having trouble sending. There it goes. Susan Rubalcaba will be on with us tonight, and I think I get finally get this thing to work. There you go. Let's go to the comments while as she gets on. Good evening, my friend. Long time no see. Yes, Snoopy. Where have you been? It's good to see you. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Jesse. Good evening. Ashley. A howdy. A howdy. And Susan. Good evening, Susan.
Hey, whoa, that's some hair right there.
It's all over the place.
I know I've been running around all day. Good God. I ran in so I could get on the show early.
Well, let me say, and again, a lot of you get a lot of calls and stuff like this and that. And I got a call actually from someone saying like, "Hey, we got to meet." And we're like, um, "Got a busy day," and I hate saying that, but you have a busy day, and I think people don't understand that aside from running for office, some of us actually have to work.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great if all of us were chiefs of staff somewhere where we could campaign while we work. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's not feasible, Susan. Like I have to be in Matamoros this past week. No, this week. I'm losing. I had to go to Monterrey to visit with a client. So I rush off and then come right back. So I have to do that because I still have to work. Then I get here and like today I had to rush off to the island to do a wedding at the island, which I love to do. It's kind of fun to do a wedding at the island. But then we got the launch of the SpaceX, and there's a lot of people at the island,
Oh, of course.
and I'm going like, a great bit of time to have it. But they had already had the date planned. It was called in, and SpaceX did move the date, so
Mm-hmm.
it was like they wanted to have the wedding on 420 because of SpaceX. It's
Mm-hmm.
just so much it happened. It was kind of cool. I really enjoyed it, but then you have to come back, and then you got to work, and then got to deal with campaign stuff. How do you
Mm-hmm.
how do you balance?
I don't feel like I do, but apparently I do. Yeah, and then between that, I'm picking up, son from basketball practice and dropping them off, and are asking people to do it for me so that I can, meet with, do a forum or meet with people. But, I think this is just, like I said, I'm a very structured person. So like, I like to have my meetings in order and stuff. And so right now it's just a little too much meeting. I guess it's going to slow down now, but I think the next 2 weeks is probably going to be pretty hectic.
It's chaotic, and trust me,
Getting out to, still talk to people and stuff. And I'm going to have another big pachanga next week. So
must be nice.
huge, huge pachanga.
I'll be there.
Well, because you didn't come to the last one, so, and I invite everybody except my opponents. So, but
Well, I didn't.
yeah, we had 150 people come through this last one,
Yeah,
and a lot of people called me that that they tried to get there, but there was no parking. So I'm gonna have a big one in Southmost. So on
yeah.
a rant.
I heard that there was a lot of people there, and I actually got asked. I said, "That's why you didn't go." And I said, like, I wanted to go. I just had to meet with a client in Monterrey,
Yeah,
and it's one of those things, where you've already got the commitment and you just can't get out of it.
right.
And, they'd already paid me to go all the way to Monterrey to take care of some business. So, you got to fulfill. You can't just go. I mean,
Hmm.
the guy literally flew in to Monterrey, and to meet other individuals there, and I had to drive in as well. But I did wanted to be there, but
Hmm.
it just can't be everywhere. And I think this is one of hopefully we could talk about this. This is why it's so important, you know, to work together
Hmm.
without working together. Because one of the things that I made mention, and I'm going to get to Snoopy's question. I promise you, Snoopy. But one of the things that we both of us were at the Republican Women Forum, and one of the things that I made sure that didn't get recorded, but I made sure to say, unfortunately, we've heard from your opponent and from Linda Macias that they're accounting for. They're
Yes.
counting for, and
Hmm.
this is and look, I don't care how many times Tino may want to go out there and say that we're negative on podcasts because I'm reading his publication, and that he's not referring to Manny's, he's not referring to any other podcast but mine. That's fine. I would rather you just come out and just say it because
He did. He
call,
did come out and just say it.
call me an extremist.
And he also came out and said that it's going to be on a podcast. So here it is.
Yeah. So he goes out and I go like, well, again, look, all we're doing is asking questions, and they have every right. And look, I did an open invitation. Anyone wants to come on and come back and refute anything that I'm saying. Open forum. I'd welcome Tino Villarreal to come on, and let's discuss why he thinks I'm an extremist, why he thinks I'm negative, and why why he disagrees with a lot of the information that we put out. Uh, My concern is they've been silent all this time, Susan.
Mhm.
And again, not and I like Tino. They've been silent all this time. Has anyone, honestly, anyone, and if you're a Tino supporter, that's fine. Can anyone show me one place that Tino Villarreal, and besides when we started to speak before the city commission, Linda Macias and all Brian Martinez, where these individuals were when we were out there screaming at the top of our lungs after the audit report came out. But with that said, Susan, where were they before? I appreciate a lot of people now that are finally like starting to become a lot more vocal, because
Mhm.
I don't know if you've seen and I'm sure you have, on social media, a lot of people they're starting to pick up the verbiage in regards to
I,
179 million.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's talk about the 179. Okay, let's clear that up because that's the big numbers thing. Oh my God, it's not 179 million. It is 179 million. The difference is that it's not 179 million that was collected for Tanasca. It's 179 million that was collected overall, but 30 million went into operations and maintenance. That's what the commission approved, and that's what happened. Or 30, and please don't quote me. It might be 30,247 with 67 cents. Okay. It might not be the exact, but it's somewhere between the 30-40 million range, that they used for operations and maintenance. And that came right from Miguel's, the chief financial officer's mouth in one of the meetings that obviously we were only at.
It was on paper.
So those people that weren't there, I don't know why they're arguing with that, but it was 179 million. But the rest of it was for Tanasca. The what was left, which whatever it was, 130, 140, 120, 114, whatever number you want to use, that was Tanasca related expenses.
Yeah.
So it was 179 million. It just wasn't 179 million that was solely for Tanasca. But that is what was collected.
And I don't know if you knew this, but Commissioner de Los Santos came on one of Manny's shows, not this last one. We're going to get to that one in a little bit, but to a previous one, Susan. He went on there and it was going like, "Oh, Erasmo Castro is lying. It's not 179." Even John you heard John Cowan. Um, John Cowan said that in the Republican Win for. I don't know where Erasmo gets 179. He said that, and again, I appreciate him finally opening his mouth. But but Manny sent me a link. So I came on the show and I said, I'll tell you exactly where it came from, because what you're trying to say, and again, I cleared this up for him. What you're trying to say is it wasn't 179 million. Some of that, well, again, we don't know the exact 30, 30, 29, 28. Who cares?
It
Doesn't
keeps
matter.
changing. So
Yeah. But all this money came from the general fund. I'm like, it's still our money.
mhm.
This is what they don't get. It's still our money, and
Mhm.
you put it aside. You used it because of the Tenasca thing. I want $179 million back,
Mhm.
And then and again, he said nothing. He stood back, said nothing, because once they face the truth, Susan. Once they face the facts, once they get someone that gives them an argument, then they have to step back.
Mhm.
I had that experience with Trey Mendez when Trey Mendez, was saying, "Well, that's what you're lying. I didn't take any city money." Well, like, well, let's talk about that. And then I cleared it up for him. Like, you have taken money, Mayor, and it's just as simple as that. And you orchestrated. He goes, but it's not illegal. So then you admit that you took money, but you did it the legal way,
Right. Mhm.
based on the guidelines that you all set and the people
Mhm.
that currently committee set. So they can't refute. So they step back and then they go like, "Well, y'all being extremists, or you're coming on podcasts and being negative." Because this is the gist of that. I think it's one of his last, Mr. Villarreal's comments. You're just these people are being negative.
Mhm.
But Susan, I don't know if you've noticed this, because I was going through his stuff and I was also going through Brian Martinez stuff, and a friend of mine actually pointed it out to me. They're not offering any solutions.
Mhm.
And folks, you pay attention, folks out there. Pay attention, and people that are following them. They're not offering any solutions. You got a Jessica Tetro going up here. This is my PUB bill. I'm upset about it. I'm just upset. We're going lower to EV. What have you done? You had an opportunity.
Mhm.
John Cowan, what did you do? I don't tell me what you're going to do. Tell me what you did during those 4 years in office, and don't say that. Well, I started the Tenasca audit, and I was sitting on the audit committee, because you could have been on the audit committee. You were on the audit committee, but it wasn't because out of the kindness of your heart you decided to bring up an audit. The audit was brought because the people in the community were pissed off. A lot of people in the community were pissed off, and a lot more people in the community got even more pissed off
Mhm.
after the audit came out. And
But I still don't see them, even the current commissioners and or the candidates even really paying attention to it now. They weren't attending any of the meetings. I haven't seen anybody there. And I guess I'll just talk to you guys. Hi guys.
well,
Are you shutting the dog up, or are you like what? Okay, there
no,
you
I went to go sit to drink and stuff. I got
So
real.
I mean, these candidates that are trying to, ride on the coattail of the PUB Tenasca crap. They're still not going to meetings. They're still not updating people. They don't show any effort. I mean, I have a solution. My solution's different from yours. I don't think we should get 179 million back. I don't think we should touch the operations and maintenance part of it that went into the general fund for that. I think that we should worry about the 30 million that we're going to get back for sure within the next couple of weeks, and you'll owe me $2.
Not gonna
And
happen.
then the 79 million should be re-audited by a third party, and we should make sure that those subsidies actually went out and that all went out in that number. We lost $30 million worth of vendor pay sure we can't get it back. If we take it back, then PUB goes bankrupt. I know you're okay with that
Yeah,
act, because I
yeah.
think if it's ran properly, it's in the best interest of the people. When it's not, that's when we need to open the market.
But Susan,
That's where we
this is,
differ.
and,
We differ on that.
and yeah, and that's okay. And we can, and look, I can accept that we differ on that. I'm okay with it. I'm pissed because again, I'm going back into the root of the matter. They lied, they cheated,
Mhm.
they knew, and because of
Mhm.
that, there's got to be a penalty. And look, as much as John is out there saying that the feds are going to get involved, the local is going to get involved, and we're going to make sure that someone has to pay. I'm going to guarantee you, Susan, no one is going to go to jail over this, and that's what sucks. So
Well, it sucks that we don't know for sure. We have no proof that it's actually been. It's been a bunch of yes, we've sent it, but have we really? I mean, I'd like to see some sort of email or document or something, some proof. Don't tell me, just show me.
something. But
Yeah.
Susan, in any other scenario, Susan, in any other scenario, you would have been thrown in jail.
Oh yeah.
Any other scenario. Look, Susan, we've got these guys out here, these prestige
Oh yeah.
builders.
The
Those
builders.
guys scammed crap loads of cash from people.
Yeah, I saw that.
They were forced to go in and turn themselves in, Susan.
Hmm.
Why hasn't anyone gone and turned themselves in for the Tenasco mess?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And this is what pisses me off. We've got a fajita bandit, got 51 years or 50 years for $1.2 million in fajitas, Susan. And I love fajitas. 50 years for 1.2 million.
Yeah.
I was arrested the next day when they
Yeah,
found out.
he's still jailed.
He's going to be in jail for a long time. He's appealing. He's going to be in jail for a long, long time. Arrested. So
Mhm.
why haven't we heard of anything or seen anything? And look, and they want you to go, Susan, and they want to say, well, you got to trust the words that are coming out of our mouth. I don't. I don't trust John Cowan. I don't
Mhm.
trust Jessica Tetreault. I don't trust the mayor of the city of Brownsville. I don't care how many times she wants to stand up and give a state of the city address and say that everything's honky dory in the city of Brownsville. I don't trust any of them.
Did you go to that?
No, of course not. I'm not going to pay $50 that crap.
That's kind of funny that we had all that stuff with the border today. And that right after the statement it was yesterday, right?
It was yesterday. The rush at the border?
The rush of the border was yesterday, and the statement of the city was yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Same day. And, they want, they fudge up all the numbers. All this stuff about us being the 16th safest city in the country is bullcrap. It's just not true. I don't trust anything that's coming out of my mouth. And look, Susan, even when we ask for information that we're entitled to, Susan, even when we ask for documentation, they don't send it our way.
Well, they do for $1,250.
But then they send it redacted and they play games with us, don't they?
Yeah.
And this is what sucks, Susan, because everyone wants to run on transparency. Okay, show me transparency. Open up the books. Let's see it.
Mhm.
Show us, as you just mentioned, show us where that law enforcement is involved. Because it's not like it's secretive. We all know that they stole, they cheated, they took.
Mhm.
DA knows. No one's been prosecuted yet. But if it had been me, Susan, or you, we'd be in jail with a mega big old bail or bond. They'd pick up our passports. I couldn't go to Matamoros. Nothing has happened, and I'm afraid nothing will happen. This is why, and despite us differing, this is why I think someone should suffer. And if people at the top at PUB need to suffer, if PUB needs to go bankrupt, screw it. Let's start something new. Because what we have is not working. Is it fixable? It's not going to be fixable, Susan, with the individuals that we have currently sitting on the damn board.
Well, I agree, but I think that you ultimately are going to that punishment will trickle down into the people. If it is an advantage for the city to have their own utilities if it's running properly, if it's a benefit to the citizens. This is a separate issue entirely, and I think it can be fixed with very strict oversight. And if it can't, well, then okay, then we take the next step and we open up the market.
Yeah, I don't think.
But 179 million is not going to come back to the people, and
I
there's
don't.
no way.
No, I know, but I don't truly believe that it's ever going to get fixed. And look, you've got these individuals, and you saw the picture where you have the Sarah Langley or Sandra Langley, whatever the hell that stupid
Mhm.
idiot lady's name is. You got Sandra Langley over there with Rose Gowan, and they're all hugging each other with Dino and with John Cowan. Like these are the guys that are going to, lead Brownsville forward.
Mhm.
Those You're the one that's recommending these guys. Sarah Langley's out there doing it. This is the same chick that's on the PUB board. So does anyone think that with a Villarreal and a John Cowan, anything's going to change at PUB? I mean,
Mhm.
they're eating off the same plate as the PUB board members.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. And I posted, I responded to that picture that you put up there. I just don't agree to a public endorsement like that when you're a sitting commissioner in such I mean, I know that we're 180,000 population, but such a small town, everybody knows everybody. And I just think that the optics of that is very unprofessional, in my opinion. Because what ultimately ends up happening, which is what happened yesterday, is that a lot of name dropping goes on, and maybe I don't know if the current commissioners know that, but yesterday it was an at-large Rotary forum, and William and myself were sitting at the table, and Mr. Villarreal was name dropping everybody he had connections with already on the board and that have on the commission and that have publicly endorsed them. And I mean, I don't know if that's like a scare tactic or if that's a thing that people need to look at and say, okay, he already has an agenda going in, or what is he trying to say there by saying that he is already endorsed by all these people that are already sitting commissioners? I just think it's very unprofessional, and I think that we need to refrain from doing that.
But don't you think that it'd be detrimental to him to be associated with these people?
I mean, he thinks it's great. I mean, he was praising it and jumping up and well, okay, wasn't literally jumping up and down, but I'm sure inside he was. And William and I were like, what just happened? And William actually called him out on it. I was surprised, but William had a little spark of fire in him yesterday, and I thought, wow, okay, William, a pat on the back there, William, go get him.
So
But I mean, William was right. William was absolutely right. He said, to me, that looks like you already have an agenda going in, and again, you're counting to four. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 people that are going to run the city. Actually, it's not even 7 people. It's 7 people that are actually elected to be the voice of 180,000 people. And so this again, going back to the 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that good stuff, and it's just it's a sad thing, and it's I don't know.
It's detrimental to the citizens of Brownsville. But if you don't mind, what 4 commissioners had endorsed him? And
According to him, it was Pedro Cardenas, Rose Gowan, and Roy Dos Santos. Those were the 3, and he was number 4, right? So he's number 4, is what he's saying. He went on to mention that him and Pedro are brothers, like brothers. They're so close, they're like brothers. And Rose Gowan had a big pachanga for him, and so I mean, to me that sounded very unprofessional in a forum, because what are you telling people? Because they're endorsing me, then I'm the best candidate? Um, I mean, what? I don't understand. Because they're my friends, I'm going to get the votes that you want. I don't know. I don't know what he was trying to say by that, or if he was just trying to intimidate his opponents.
well, I just don't see how it's beneficial to someone running saying that I'm in cahoots with the individuals that screwed you over.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, we already know that him and John are good friends, so I don't know why he didn't mention John's name, or maybe he did and I didn't hear it. Maybe I just shut it out. I don't know. But
well, I think we already knew that John Cowan was rooting for Tino Villarreal anyway. So
I
it's
think he's in the picture. No, he's in the picture that you.
yeah,
Yes, yeah, so he was at his party. Unless that was a party for all of them,
I'm
but
sure.
Tino made it sound like it was his party that Rose Gowan did for him.
Well, I can't stand Rose Gowan anyway. I think she's a piece of trash.
I don't know her. I've never met her before, and I don't know. But I guess
you're lucky.
Instead of actually looking at the qualifications of the candidates, I mean, I guess it's just who you know.
And well, that's what's gotten us where we're at right now.
Mhm.
I want to go to Snoopy's comments so that we can go through because we're losing comments. I feel like Roto Sangre is threatened by Susan. Oh, that's not the one. But we'll come back to that one. Erasmo, saw you and Manny show last night. Granted, I haven't been for a while. I'm surprised you want Nerth reelected. Is that like the enemy of my enemy is a friend and type of thing? I'll answer that. Again, I've gone through. Well, a friend of mine went through Brian's information out there. Said nothing. Has no platform. And if Roy de los Santos isn't speaking for him, then he says nothing at all. And that's just unfortunate because I think Brian Martinez squandered and ruined an amazing opportunity to actually be a voice for a younger generation of folks out there by knowing he's the chief of staff and has produced absolutely no answers to anything. This is what really blew my mind when the police officers were wanting not to go out there and endorse Brian Martinez. And we're like, for what? There's nothing on there. This is why I suspect, and I can confirm with the thread from the police officers that Roy de los Santos, strong armed them into endorsing Brian Martinez. So, do we need someone who has the hand of another commissioner shoved so far deep that he's speaking with him like a puppet, or do we want a commissioner that I mean you could disagree with as much as you want, but is her own individual? I choose the latter.
Yeah,
So
I was actually really impressed with Nerdith when she spoke up regarding some of the conflicts that were going on, and they've been proven conflicts. So it's not an allegation that she had; it is a legitimate concern that she had, and I believe that's when all this started. And I don't see. I wasn't in politics before. You know a lot more about these candidates and these sitting commissioners than I do. And I don't know the history of the Golansky family and none of that. Um, but I can tell you that I was very impressed in the fact that she spoke up and out, and I think that she's getting retaliated against just as much as I have been, and I think that's just a sad situation.
um, it is a situation. It's unfortunate. Let me say, because I would rather have her face an opponent that was a little bit more on the independent side. That would have been great. Fortunately, we don't have that option. So I'm hoping that Commissioner Golonsky gets reelected. Oh crap! I like the comments Yasmin put on Theo Yarra's post. I haven't seen that one. I went to Susan's but was not let in because it was packed. Oh, wow.
Ben, no way.
I
You,
mean,
you should have called me. I would have gotten you in the back door. I know people.
my assistant. And let's get the comments before we lose them. Roy sets the example. It's okay as an elected official to attack their opponents with emotional attacks, not based on facts. And I don't know if you saw the show that I did with Manny yesterday. Um, I think you did comment on it.
Yeah, I saw part of it.
And let me say, I told Manny I was surprised that you didn't call him out on calling Susan a homophobe because
I've been calling that out, Erasmo. I've been
no no
calling
no
it
no
out
no no,
since.
no, whoa, 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 whoa. I told Manny that I was surprised
Oh,
he
oh, okay.
hadn't called him out on calling you homophobe because the facts is furthest from the truth. And this is what's disgusting about it because if you call them something or other, then you're the worst person in the world. But it's okay for them to call you anything that's going to not only hurt you politically, but be detrimental in regards to what other individuals think of your person, your demeanor, or who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
Are you
So he was
praying?
already in the actually in the ethics hearing that we had. Hi Emma. He was Mr. Stapleton. He used a word ad hominem, and he said those kind of attacks are not attacks on the facts. Those are personal attacks, and you should know better than that. And I thought that was really neat that that he brought that up because that's all it's been. That's all it's been. It's been a personal attack on my character and on my looks, on my weight, on everything, and it has nothing to do with any of the facts that surround, the ethics complaint and hearing and conflicts and all of that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Again, come at us with facts, and I'll take it. It is what it is. But I was really upset, and I told Manny this. I said, Manny, it's just I'm surprised. He goes, well, I thought about it afterwards, and I like freaked out. Going like, he really said that. I'm going, it's not the first time he said it. He actually, I think he did a big old when he did was doing a podcast on his own, and
Oh
just
my gosh.
spent, I think, 15 minutes just on that same thing. And it's really, really unfortunate. But look, Susan, and again, this is your first time running for office. It's stuff that I've dealt with in the past before. I was called a homophobe. I was called anti-LGBTQIA, and that I hated the community. I'm going like, well, you're basing that on what? You
Mhm.
know, on what exactly? Well, we think that you hate. And that's different. You can't say that I am homophobic or I hate the LGBTQIA community. Can't say that when I've been out there
Mhm.
in support of the LGBT community every step of the way. And I think that's just very, very unfortunate. But it's all they have. I mean, what else could they throw our way?
Yeah, I can't see. And a difference of opinion doesn't equal homophobia. That's the bottom line. It just doesn't. No matter how you want to flip it, turn it, it doesn't equal. I have a difference of opinion in certain aspects, and that doesn't make me a homophobic
Or
person.
or unintelligent?
Semi intelligent. Get it right.
Oh yeah, because then we're gonna get back like, oh no, you see, he's a
You
fake
see,
news.
he said, she said 1.5 million. It's actually 1.49999.
They're so used to people being bent over eating their crap. That's why they can't actually argue a point, and they can't. And let me say again, uh, I go back to that show when he was on with Manny, and they sent me a link, and I'm going to eat on that link like a crazy man. I came on, and I told Manny I was actually expecting Dora de las Santos to come on yesterday, no, 2 days ago. I can't remember when I was on any show. I was expecting him to come on, you know, and like come on and refute. And it was yesterday. Come on and refute what I've just said. He hasn't, and he won't, uh, because faced with the facts, things go a little bit differently than what most of these individuals expect. I've noticed that they start calling you all liars once you and people like Susan start calling them out. They try to discredit you once you all start exposing them. Yes, but again, it goes back into this. Oh well, they're extremists, and they're negative. Prove us wrong.
Well, I said on the Manny show that because I think his reference, or at least the way I understood it, his reference of my intelligence was based off of the PUB numbers, some of the stuff that I'm saying about PUB. Well, Roy's my commissioner. I live in his district. He could have simply picked up the phone. I mean, he's on the PUB subcommittee. He could have picked up the phone and called me or inboxed me or messaged me and said, hey, you got the wrong numbers. This is what's going on, or update me. But instead of doing that, he just says I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm sorry, semi-intelligent. I mean, come on.
Well, again, they're using these.
He's I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments all late.
They're using. Well, this is my opinion, and my opinion is she's still not intelligent, and she's homophobe. Based on what?
Mhm.
And they don't give you an opportunity because they don't give you an opportunity to answer back because how can you answer back in regards to oh well semi-intelligent, you want me to take an intelligence test? That's
Mhm.
fine, I'll take it, but why would you call me a homophobe? And when I got called a homophobe, they're like, well, wait a minute, I supported the LGBT community and everything that they've done. I fought, literally fought, Susan. I mean, I don't know if you knew this. I literally went to Austin to fight for one student that was part of the LGBT community because she wanted to wear the female cheerleader outfit. And I went all the way to Austin to speak to representatives up there and going like, guys, help me out because the district didn't want to budge. I think anyone has the right to wear whatever the hell they want to wear. Anyone. I don't care. You know, just don't care. And the reason was, oh well, it's going to be distracting. It's distract. People are going to be distracted no matter what. I mean, they're making her use the male outfit, and she's got makeup and long hair. It's
Mhm.
still a distraction. Let her be. So I've always been, Susan, the most vocal individual in this community when with Kimberly's disappearance. You know, and
Actually, I didn't know about that until you spoke up about it.
yeah, I've been to the
And
to the
you know what? And that is a oh my gosh. This is this whole labeling thing that's going on. I told somebody the other day, I said, man, I tell you what, I said, this whole labeling thing is just, it's so annoying and exhausting. Because in reality, no sane person is going to agree with like this Kimberly thing. I don't care who she belongs to, or what community or anything. She's a person, and she didn't deserve what happened to her. And anybody in their right mind is going to feel sympathy and hurt and want that solved. Nobody's going to want harm on anybody. And it's the same thing with all this stuff going on federally. I mean, it doesn't matter which president I supported or I voted on. If somebody did something wrong, you're damn right I'm going to want them to go to jail.
oh
I'm not going to condone sexual assault on any woman. I'm a woman. I have a daughter. I'm not going to condone that no matter who did it.
yeah, AJ.
So it's just ridiculous. But hey, I have a question for you. Well, let's get all out of that. Done.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Let's get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think about the budget and how we can fix it, and the entities that are losing money every year, the three major ones, right? The sports park, the golf center, and the event center. What can we do to fix that? And what do you think about the PUB transfers?
Well, first of all, let me say one of the things that I've already mentioned in regards to the budget is we're bleeding too much money into these pet projects out there that aren't producing for the city of Brownsville, Susan.
Mhm.
Look, we're in the hole at the sports park. I think $350,000 a year in the
Mhm.
hole, and this is based on the fact that supposedly we'd already paid off the 58 million dollars, and again the numbers thing, 58 million dollars, where you don't see the 58 million dollars. What I'm trying to say is that we've had too many projects already that we've invested a lot of money in that could have gone elsewhere, to whereas we wouldn't be suffering in regards to the budget. We've lost money with Titan Tires, lost money with the Bridge to Nowhere. We're going to lose money with Fly Frontera if we hadn't intervened. We're going to lose millions upon millions of dollars. I don't trust this new airline, the Avelo airline. I don't think that we're going to get the money for our buck. We don't know the details in regards to how many of those seats, empty seats, we're going to have to be paying for ultimately. And
Mhm.
what upsets, and I'll do the airline thing. What upsets me about the airline thing is they're using it at the perfect time in order to say, look, great things are happening in Brownsville. Let's all talk about this.
Mhm.
But then we're going to get screwed 5, 10 years from now. So we actually got nothing. This is why it's so important to go in there and start looking at everything that has drained money from the coffers. We had Crossroads. Do you remember Crossroads? This was
Mhm.
like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They had Crossroads, this big old Austin type of event that they had downtown. Again, downtown. We lost in the upwards of $275,000 on it because nobody went. The only people that were there were city employees, and individuals in that little it club crowd lost about $275,000, and it's just one thing after another after another. We have to rein all that crap in. Ciclovia, Susan, Rose Gowan's got that shoved up her butt so far deep, she never wants to let it go, like a prophylactic, like a butt plug. Doesn't want to let it go. She wants to keep it in there. We're down $600,000 on that crap. $600,000, and they're still planning to have more. How does that make sense to anyone? You've
Mhm.
got something going in the city that is draining money from the city, and you still want to produce more of it. how much money did we spend on the hike and bike trails that only a small fraction of the individuals here in the city of Brownsville actually use? So
Mhm.
we've got to pinpoint all those projects and stuff. We got to stop bleeding money from the city in regards to all these consultants because we're paying top notch
Right.
at the city manager's office. And we're talking about $1.1 million in
Mhm.
salaries at the city manager's office, paying top dollar, and we're
Mhm.
still paying $2.3 million in consultant fees. That's the kind of stuff that doesn't make any sense to me. Because then what happens is what the police officers then come back and say, like, well, they say they don't have any money. We
Mhm.
don't have any money because we're bleeding every single project there. This is one of the reasons why, in order to help the budget, we got to wipe clean every single board and committee out there that's draining the money that should go to the people of Brownsville and put it back to what's going to produce money. It's like John Callan is proposing to put millions of dollars, if not $1 billion, into this new industrial park that they want to ramp up. Well, you've got to go back and say, well, who did they buy the property from? Who are they wanting to buy the property from?
Mhm.
Who has surrounding areas around the property? And you're going to find out it's always the same individuals, the same people. It,
Mhm.
it never stops. And it's never going to stop until we get individuals in there. So we've got to funnel the money that's going everywhere and funnel it back into that which is actually going to produce revenue for the citizens of Brownsville. I'll give you one quick example. The zoo.
Mhm.
That's just something that's very tangible for everyone to understand. The zoo. It could be a moneymaker for the city. It isn't because they've choked the zoo, Susan, to the point that it's going to, lose accreditation. John Collins
What do
said
you what do you think about selling the golf course to the BISD?
that 100%.
Okay.
Or let's, and I don't know, again, I don't know if you saw this part on Manny's show. I was always advocating for Cummings just to be given to the zoo, completely to the zoo.
Yeah, I heard about that, but I also heard from the BISD board that apparently they wanted that to make a private hotel, not for the zoo.
Oh, yes. What and again, these are the individuals. This is the Carlos Marin, the Mexican little mafia, the St. Joe group. They had proposed that. This is where I was there when they presented that, and I said, "Hell no, hell to the no. If we're going to give it to the zoo, it's for the animals." They
Right.
wanted to supposedly this big old hotel in the middle of there, and it was
And
going to
a privately owned hotel, right?
really
Not
old hotel
city.
fund,
Yeah.
but it wasn't going to work. It was another bridge to nowhere. It's the guy that's supporting Jessica Tetro, giving her money for her campaign, Carlos Marin. It's the same individuals. And the problem with giving them Cummings, Susan, was that nobody was advocating or fighting for it. And I had conversations with Trey Mendes back then. I said, Trey, take it now. Take Cummings now. Get on board. Do something because we're about to invest $35 million in Cummings. And if we invest $35 million, Susan, they're not going to sell it to you for $100 million.
Right.
They're going to sell it to you for $250,000. And then the city's going to go back and say, we don't have any money.
Hmm.
Because the CTE program, Susan, could have easily been moved over to
Oh, there's plenty
Resaca.
of space. Yeah,
Well,
there's plenty of space.
Resaca is 3 blocks away, Susan.
Hmm.
It could have been easily moved over there, and the zoo benefited from that property. So
Right.
yeah, let's let's do a swap trade. Golf course, go to BISD. That's great. Got to sell out the event center. It's never going to work.
Hmm.
But it should have never been built in the first place, Susan.
Hmm.
Sports park shouldn't have been built in the first place because we were fighting the sports park back then when Charlie Atkinson went to PUB, Susan, for money in order to build a sports park because it's the way that they pay out. And again, it's the way that they pay out, like the hotel that they were wanting to bring to the zoo. It's the
Hmm.
way that they pay out the individuals that put money into their pocket, Susan.
Right.
It's all this. It's all connected, folks. It's all.
Hmm.
People could say that's what you're being like. It's all connected. If that wasn't the case, why is it always the same people? This
It
whatever
is.
guy's name, that guy from Madeira, that attorney, that I can't remember his Dennis
Sanchez. Sanchez.
Dennis Sanchez. He's involved in everything. They're
Mhm.
involved in everything because they're the movers and shakers of Brownsville. No, because that's how they make the money, by bleeding the money away from the people of Brownsville. So again, I'm not a budget expert, but I could go out there and scream and pinpoint when someone is trying to, ratearme. And these people have been rateados for too long.
So
So
let's talk about the new farmers market, that new little half a looking Swiss roll thing.
yeah,
So what would be the purpose in relocating? What was wrong with the farmers market where it was?
well, the farmers market is still going to be out there. This is going to be a cannery thing. It's just like it's going to be an extension to it. But look, Susan, why there? You know,
But
why?
why? Oh, it's an extension. So there's going to be a longer, bigger farmers
Oh, yeah,
market.
yeah. I don't think they plan to shut down the one over here on Linear Park. My question is, first of all, why there? To appease the middies? To keep them happy? Why there? Why wasn't that land given to the zoo?
Hmm.
Why couldn't they put the cannery thing on a jig over there by South Coast or Rivera or Alton Glore?
Hmm.
The city has so much land all over the place. Why did it have to be there?
Hmm.
When that land could have been used for the zoo. It's right there across the street. All you have to do, Susan, is shut down the Ringo Street in front of the zoo. Shut it
Hmm.
down. It's just a little strip and make the entrance off of 6th or 7th Street.
Hmm.
Something. The zoo needs that land. They should have been given in the land from ages. I mentioned this on Manny's show. You remember the chicken coop?
Yeah,
This
you told me
Charles
about that.
The
Hmm.
Charles Stillman, it was a piece of trash, Susan. We paid $250,000 for that piece of trash. It was a trash. They brought it all the way from Corpus. I'm trying not to yell. They brought it from Corpus, and we were bitching about it. It
Hmm.
cost us $90,000. It cost us over 100 some thousand dollars just to fix it up and make it look nothing like a chicken coop.
Hmm.
It looks completely different.
And
So
see, and these are the little things that I don't understand how first of all, like half of more than half, I'm going to say 80, 90% of the citizens have no idea about these little niche special projects that are going on that are 100,000 here, 250 here, 500 there. And all of that stuff adds up. And all of that should be used for the basic needs of the citizens. And it's just not. It's not.
and this is what I told the firefighters, not firefighters, yeah, the police officers. That's what I told the police officers. I said, guys, every time they go out there and put money into the politico's pocket, you lose another 5 cents on your retirement, on your benefits. But you still want to endorse the same people that have been screwing you over for all these years? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me because every single little project that has failed here in the city of Brownsville has made someone some bucks.
Mhm.
Why do you think, Susan? And I'll let you ask questions then, but after this question, why do you think that Commissioner Las Chanclas and Brian Martinez are so adamant about not getting off the damn boards and committees?
Actually, Brian was nominated for another one today in the LGBTQ task force meeting, which I watched virtually today. He was nominated to be on the Pride Committee.
On the what?
On the Pride Committee. And I was like, is there no one else? Like, there's no one else. I mean, not because it's Brian, but because Brian's already on 15 boards and committees all over the place. Is it really not, out of 180,000 people, no other application? It's the same people. I mean, like I said, even my opponent, he served on BCIC and then he went to PUB at the same time. He was on BCIC and the PUB board at the same time. Is there no one more qualified that could have done one or the other? It has to be the same person? I don't understand that.
And
We're not utilizing the brains that we have in Brownsville. That's for sure, because there is hundreds of smart people in Brownsville who have much better ideas than I do, and that half of the people on these committees and boards do have a lot more experience that could contribute a lot more to the boards and committees, and we're not utilizing them. We're not
Well,
reaching out to our community.
well, these people think that those people are semi-intelligent.
Oh, sorry, guys. Welcome
But
to the club.
and again, and well, can you? Well, then my last question for you. Can you agree with me that what the number one problem with the city of Brownsville all goes back to the boards and committees?
Yeah, I agree. I agree that we need to completely redo them, and we need to have an application process and an interview process. And I think it actually should be done by the committee first, and then it should come to the commissioners. I don't believe that the commissioners should be able to appoint who they want whenever they want. I think there should be a real good application qualification process before they're put on there.
If Mayor,
And
whatever,
no one should be able to serve on more than one board.
100%.
Bottom line.
If Mayor, what type of relationship would you keep with him? A great relationship. Would you trust him? Absolutely not. Not a day in hell. But I would have an equal sitting at the table for the city of Brownsville, and I would bitch for every single dime to go to the people of Brownsville and not to a selected group, to a selected few, to Ramiro Gonzalez, that piece of trash. And
Oh, he was in one of the pictures, no?
yeah, I saw that.
Hey, did they actually take the money back or not? Have you found out?
They pay the money back for what?
I heard that they took $8 million back from the Elon money. They did?
Well, I would like to have a citizens committee so we get, yeah, we actually need a student one. This is what happened. And again, I heard it from the Musk people. I actually met with some of them, and they said, "Erasmo, we're not happy." I said, "Guys, we're not happy either." He said, "Because we want you to know we gave this money in good faith. We gave this money in good faith because we wanted to do something good. But no one, Susan, expects to give something in good faith and get their name tarnished."
Right.
And again, these individuals like Latino Villarreal post about podcasts and all this stuff, and the Droy La Chanclas and Trey Mendez, they tried to blame us. And back then it was me because I was the one that was out there, screaming about it. The only one screaming about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were blaming me, like, "Oh well, you're at the fault because you're so negative." And we're like, "No, bitches, you're at the fault because you pocketed the money. It should have gone to the people of Brownsville, and no one in the Musk Foundation wanted the money to go to you. They
Mm-hmm.
wanted it to go to the people of Brownsville, Susan.
Yeah.
So because they were going to be given it in intervals. Once they started to learn that the mayor was banking, Ramiro Gonzalez was banking. These are facts, Susan.
No, these are top tier people that got it first.
Yes.
There should have been a cap on that money. There should have been a cap, like let's say anybody who applies, the max you can get is 75,000, 100,000, whatever it is. But I don't know how they determined how you were getting the money, but I understand that the new bookstore, the used bookstore, got like 180 or 120. I don't know what it was, but I don't understand how we're ever going to get any revenue from that. I love the whole vibe and everything that's going on down there. I just think that we should cap it, and that way more people could have benefited from it. And now apparently they're asking for money back because they didn't meet the guidelines.
Well, this is, and again, I love Gabriel at Bujo, that bookstore. I love the guy,
Is
but
that the owner?
yeah,
Okay.
he's a good kid. I like the guy, but I've seen how he's becomes a little bit standoffish when I come around, and we used to be okay. Once you become a part of that little clique, Susan, you know, that niche little clique, you get everything.
Mm.
And again, I want Buo to succeed. I want them to
We want
succeed,
all businesses to succeed.
but I want all.
This isn't against. Don't close the doors on what is it? Buho?
Yes,
Yeah,
no,
no.
and
I'm a small business owner, and I don't want anybody to not succeed.
yeah, and
I'm
Gabriel,
talking about the amount of money that they give should have been capped and equal across the board, so more people could have benefited.
exactly. So Gabriel, I know that you're a little standoffish with me now. Like I don't because Erasmo is out there. Nothing against you, bro. I love you, man, and I love that you have the bookstore. Both. What I want is for those that are out there making decisions to have an equal distribution amongst all small businesses here in the city of Brownsville. It's just what's right. And
Right.
again, it's nothing personal because again, I love the guy. I love the kid. I love that he brought a bookstore here. I love it. Just want equal distribution for everyone. And Linda Macias has failed us on that. Tino Villarreal has failed us. Everyone that is served on the BCIC board has failed us on that. This
Mhm.
is why we got to get rid of that Sandra chick, that Sandra Langley chick, who's always on the BCIC, GBEC, and all this other stuff. She was out there going to the Tony Martinez whorehouses in Colombia with them. They were out there with Hills. And again, they think that I don't forget. And one of the things that you mentioned is true. Maybe there's a lot of people in Brownsville that aren't aware of everything, but they should be, you
Mhm.
know, because I'm out there screaming at the top of my lungs. I've been doing this for 10, 12 years. And I've
Mhm.
been labeled a homophobe. I've been labeled crazy. I've been labeled negative. I've been labeled, oh, he hates the city. I don't. Just I love this city. Just want equal distribution of funds. And I want the people in the city of Brownsville to get the biggest bang for their buck. And we're not getting it, not from the Musk Foundation, not from all the grants that we receive, because these imbeciles are pocketing it or redirecting it to the individuals that put money into the campaigns of Tino Villarreal, Linda Macias, Jessica Tetreault, John Cowan.
Mhm.
Brian Martinez, and that's what sucks.
Yeah.
Because Susan, it's hard running it's hard running a campaign, and
Yeah, I've vowed not to take any donations from it. I've had people offer me money, and I took one donation, and I didn't even know that I had gotten it. It was online. It was $100, and that's it.
well,
But I've had people offer me money, and I just would prefer not to put myself in that kind of position.
let me say it's hard because I'll use my opponent. I actually didn't check how much your opponent has spent, but my opponents has spent the upwards of $90,000 and $70,000.
Yeah, yours is crazy high.
90,000 and $70,000. Again, folks, I cannot compete with that. Just
Mhm.
cannot compete. And let me tell you all right now, uh, when we make the runoff, it's going to be worse because they're going to spend $250,000 on this race, up on top of the 90 and the 70 that they already spent. $250,000. And the problem, Susan, is who's paying for that money? If they,
Well, if it's vendors that's giving them, it's us.
yeah, the people of money will lose money. The people of Brownsville will lose money because they are going to have to pay their masters back. And I
Mhm.
received one donation, Susan, $300 from my former opponent, Jay Nagy. $300. And you could go look around and you'll find $300 of Erasmo's expenses. That's all that's there. That's all I have.
I know. I was telling somebody I didn't realize it was a sign competition. Freaking signs everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I want to put a limit on that. It's
Well,
crazy.
does he call you a homophobe because the U.S. flag and Texas flag should be flown at City Hall? I think that's what Roy's argument is.
That is one of the things that I am against, flying the pride flag. And that is one of the things he calls me out on quite a bit. But that's just a difference of opinion. That's not doesn't make me a homophobe. If anybody, wants to know, my best friend of over since the 1990s is openly gay. I've said that a million times. He spoke up on my behalf, but yet that doesn't count. That's just someone that I am. What am I using him as a shield and as for whatever it is? But Wally and I have been friends, close friends, very close friends, been through a lot together, and I love him to death, and I wouldn't trade him for the world. And that's not good enough for them either, as if I need to prove myself some other to them. But it does have to do with the pride flag. There's two things: pride flag and drag queens reading to children at the library. Those are two things I disagree with that were happening in Brownsville or going to happen in Brownsville, and that's where I got my label from.
270,000 commercial kitchen equipment for the cannery project.
Mm-hmm. You see, those are the kind of things that I go back to prioritization. It's not something that we need desperately. We need to meet the needs of the citizens first, and then all those great, beautiful things can come later.
Yeah, we got to hit the priority. Any other questions?
I have a lot of questions for you. Like I want to know like your
I'll go,
thoughts and stuff on certain things.
I'll go short answer. Go.
Okay. All right. Tell me what you would do it if we couldn't sell the sports park. What could we do to make money from it?
I think we need to market it better. I
Okay.
think we need to bringing in some teams like from Monterrey. We've got two professional soccer teams here in Monterrey. That's just only 3 hours away. They go to Weslaco,
Hmm.
they go to Edinburgh, to play. Start marketing and start bringing these Mexican soccer. Because let me tell you, Susan, if we got soccer games going out there,
Hmm.
you better believe it's going to get jam packed.
Absolutely.
We've got to start making some money, start making wiser choices in regards
Hmm.
to bringing these things. Back
Hmm.
in the day when the sports park opened, I don't know if you remember this. We actually pissed away $50,000 on this rapper guy that was supposed to come, and I don't know if you remember that, was supposed to do a concert here, and then the guy bailed with the money, didn't do
Hmm.
squat. We've got
Hmm.
to start thinking a little bit more on the our roots and less on the niche Austin stuff,
Hmm.
because we are not BTX.
Right.
We are not BTX because they copied that from ATX. We are not BTX. We are Brownsville. Next
Hmm.
question.
Okay. Uh, um, what do you think about our code enforcement right now?
It's non-existent,
Right.
but it's not existent because I mean there's a lot of stuff that's on there that should be you know dealt with, from parking cars in front of your yards to panhandlers to everything, to individuals out there attacking individuals that are selling elotes on the side of the streets. It's just like all right. But you go back into, you don't have the personnel. There aren't any personnel out there to enforce what we have right now. And I find it amazing that people are out there screaming for more, you know, more violations, more ordinances, more stuff out there.
Yeah, they are. Hmm.
We can't
Look
do.
at the amount of political signs that are still hanging around after 2 years everywhere.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, Erasmo. Um, I'm gonna
Next.
start charging you for that once I get on the commission. Um, do you have any ideas or something that we could do for the Southmost area? Something big, something that could attract people to go back
Well,
over there?
again, all these stuff that we mentioned, the Cannery Road, the sports park, all this should have been placed in the southwest area. Susan, we were supposed to get four FEMA domes. Four.
Hmm.
They actually put money aside for those. They pissed away the money on special projects. One of them was supposed to be down southmost. That would have been amazing, because what happens with those FEMA domes, they get converted into community plazas or
Right.
things. That would have been wonderful for our people in the southmost. We don't get that, but we do get a tax collector office. It
Mhm.
just doesn't make any sense. You know, we need to figure out something. Uh, but the sports park is just it's too far gone. But we do have a lot of stuff going towards southmost, Susan. We got that that Avery place, the bird place
Oh yes.
with the
Uh-huh.
home stuff and all this other stuff. We've got to put something out there that would maybe encourage a big old hotel or something.
Or what
Or,
about a boys and girls club that is slash
well,
FEMA?
that's one of the, well, again, we've lost the opportunity on the FEMA dome, Susan. What happened with the FEMA dome, the government was going to pay 75% of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like all we had to do was come up with the 25%. Well, these guys pissed away the 25% on pet projects, on Ciclovia, on little parks here and there, on skate parks and stuff. Pissed away that money.
Mm-hmm.
So we lost, lost, lost. So again, and I'm not trying to focus. A lot of people say, "Well, that's why you're just talking about the stuff that happened in the past." Well, if we don't pinpoint it, we don't call it out.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably damned to make the same mistakes all over again. And we can't let the people forget that the same individuals, because it's the same individuals that lost us the FEMA domes, same individuals that were sitting there already. So we need, and I've already made mention that we need to bring back the Boys and Girls Club and start sending them out to the city of Brownsville.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'd hope that there'd be another opportunity to get another grant to get another FEMA dome down here. That'd be
Mm-hmm.
amazing. But
Mm-hmm.
got to go out there and fight for it. And one of the things that I think that I've seen, and I could be wrong, is that the city of Brownsville tends to shy away from a lot of the federal grants coming in, and they start focusing on a lot of the private grants out there, because there's more oversight on the federal grants than anything out there.
Absolutely.
So I think that's one of
Yeah.
the reasons why the FEMA domes, and we were supposed to get four, we only got one,
Hmm.
and one and a half. One of the other ones in Los Fresnos stuff.
Yeah, and I think the grants I think the grants department is not that the employees are lacking. I mean, not them that they don't know what they're doing. I just think that that whole department is lacking, and it could be just who's directing them to do it. I know a lot of the federal grants are probably matching grants, and we probably don't have the money to match. But okay, my other question was what was my other question? You made me lose my train of thought.
She's
Um,
you're semi-intelligent.
I know you shocked me. No, oh, it was a good one too. Give me a second to think about it. It was southmost. It was oh, okay. We need to, and we definitely have. We need to, as we grow and as we have economic development or redevelopment, we need to incentivize these companies, right? But
Yeah.
it seems that that the commission always votes for a 10-year tax abatement. That's the max. The max is a 10-year tax abatement. What do you think about that?
No, there's no way. We need to look at the minimum, the least out there. Because I look, I understand that you have to give a little bit in order to, to encourage individuals to come this way. With that said, Susan, I'm surprised that we have to at this point motivate anyone to want to come in because of everything that's happening with SpaceX and stuff. But look at all this crap like that. Those space little companies that they dished out like 50,000, $100,000. Where are they? Where's that helicopter, hover
Yeah,
helicopter
yeah, yeah.
taxi
Hmm.
that they were it's going to be here, and it's all space. And I think what happened is that nos dieron las caras de idiotas. They said, oh, these suckers will give us money for anything, because I haven't seen those African American guys back here anymore. I haven't seen them in any events. I didn't see them being mentioned at the State of the City address. So what happened? And this is what's unfortunate, that we've got to make sure that the individuals that are going to come and plant something here actually are going to give us, again, the biggest bang for our buck. And SpaceX is a clear example. We are going to get a big old bang for that buck, but that came from the state of Texas.
Hmm.
It didn't come from anyone on the commission here. It came from the state of Texas. Those are the ones that were influential. Abbott, I think even Rick Perry has a hand in it. But look, we need to make sure that the companies that come here understand that we have resources that they should really, really, as to crave after. I don't know why we have to give everyone 10 years, and why
Hmm.
we have to dish out cash to everyone. They should be giving us money to come down here.
And to
And that's
piggyback off of that, the planning and planning department, planning and zoning, I think they're the ones that are in charge of the TERS. And do you also agree that the TERS is abused by the city with the businesses?
Yes, of course. But it's just one abuse after another and after another after another. But again, who's on those boards and committees?
Hmm.
It's always the same people. So we have no oversight. You're never going to be on a board and committee, Susan. You're never going to be on,
Right.
unless you get elected to be the next thing. I will never be on a board and committee unless I become mayor of the city of Brownsville. Then I get to be on PUB and the city commission. But it's the only way, the only solution. And again, this is why people don't want me to say this, guys. I'm going to be okay after this election. If I'm mayor or if I'm not mayor, I'm going to be okay. I'm concerned about the city.
Hmm.
The city cannot survive with a John Cowan and Jessica Tetreault administration. They cannot survive with a Roy Los Santos being in control of the commission as a whole, and he will be in control if Jessica Tetreault becomes mayor of the city of Brownsville. Dino Villarreal, Linda Macias, and Brian Martinez. He will be in control. And that's dangerous for the citizens of Brownsville. It is detrimental. It will hurt the city of Brownsville for decades to come.
He actually needs to start looking because those three items that are losing money are in his district. So he should really start paying attention to that. Um, and yeah, I mean that's it. We'll go on the show again. I'll have some more questions for you, but I want you to, yeah, I wanted to ask you about some of those things.
I appreciate it. Metro Transport now working on Sundays.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I want more bus stops. I want more benches out there, and some that are actually halfway decent that don't rust after the first year or the
Mhm.
first 6 months. Thanks for coming on, Susan.
You're welcome.
You're
Thank you
always
for the
valuable.
invite.
Yeah. Uh, it's
Monday, early voting. It's
Monday
gonna
is
start.
and let me say, guys, running for office is not easy. It's taxing.
Mm-mm.
It hurts sometimes because you get very, very frustrated. And I've been frustrated throughout this race and through a lot of the other races that I've endeavored in. Um, I'm hoping that people opt to come out and look, guys. This isn't. I just want you to vote for Erasmo race. It isn't. I'm just going to vote for Susan, or I'm just going to vote for Kati. You've got to run for the individuals that are not a part of the corrupt political machine. It's just that simple, guys. Because the majority of the individuals on that commission is the need to sway the rest of the commissioners that are left to become independent thinkers, to start voting what is right for the citizens of Brownsville, and not necessarily for what are their pet projects and the that little stuff that doesn't benefit the Brownsville as a whole. Just benefits individuals, the few individuals that put money into the pockets of politicals to run for office. Thanks for coming on, Susan.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody that can handle the pressure. It's
No,
not going to bail when it gets tough.
no.
Hmm.
We take a look at it and we keep on ticking.
That's right.
Guys, have a great, great evening, and please get ready to come out in droves on Monday and call your friends, family, text message everyone you know, guys. Please, it's your race. It's all our races to win, and it's not just me individual. It's our race as citizens of Brownsville. So, échale ganas. Student, have a
Pay
great.
attention to my page. I'm going to put out my Pachanga information for next Thursday.
I'll be there.
Awesome.
Guys, have a great evening. See you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. Be good to each other. Continue to be good to me.